So for those of you who don't know, I am a very big Marvel/DC fan. I read comics, I collect comics, primarily in the Bronze and Silver Age, and some modern comics that are issues that are out right now by Marvel. But I love comics, I study comics, I own comics, I'm obsessed with comics. It's actually, I would say, an addiction, because I have well over 1,000 comics in storage at my parents' house. Nonetheless, I woke up this morning with some news through the Twitsies, the Twitter, and Thor, the iconic Marvel hero that we know and love, is now known as a woman. Marvel made an announcement that they're changing Thor, the man with the hammer, into a woman. Now, a lot of people are upset about this. The internet is going wild. People are upset that they would insult the iconic character that's been around for so long throughout history. However, let me just say this. I don't like what they did, but I understand it, and I'm not upset about it. And I'm not upset that they changed this male character into Thor, because if you are upset about it, then you must not really understand how comics work. The first reason that they did this is because Marvel wants to branch out to more women in comics. Something that the Marvel Universe has always lacked is female characters. We have characters such as have their own standalone comics, such as Elektra, which is awesome. I love that character. She's one of my favorite comic book characters, actually. There's a lot of female characters in the Marvel Universe, even in the DC, are not as popular. And Marvel wants to expand their audiences and make more money and appeal to more people by making a female Thor. The problem, though, is that I don't like the fact that they completely took out Thor altogether. We no longer have a male Thor, the character that we know and love. Rather, it's a female. Why couldn't they have introduced a female like Thor, like Thora or Thoria, in a Thor comic where they introduce Thor finds out a woman who has the same capability and same power and is strong enough and worthy enough to wield his hammer? Why couldn't they do that? You know, I'm a big fan of Deadpool. I love Deadpool. He's my favorite comic book character. But the thing is, they introduced what is known as Lady Deadpool. She has her own comic series that they implemented. And I love Lady Deadpool. She's an awesome female, badass, fucking big-boobed woman. And she's curvy, and she's awesome, and she's funny. I love Lady Deadpool in the comics. And I don't find it necessary that they completely change the gender of Thor to a woman just to appeal to females, where they could have introduced a character that even maybe potentially have a love interest there. But here's the thing. Comics nowadays are lacking originality. Story arcs and stories are going down the shithole. Most modern comics today absolutely are sucky in regards to Marvel Comics. This is coming from a Marvel fan who loves comics. I'm not saying all Marvel comics are modern that are terrible, because I've been reading modern comics such as this one. Wolverine, 3 Months to Die. For those of you who don't know, comics kill off major characters all the time. Wolverine, in first time in history, is going to actually legitimately die in this series. This is the most modern issue of to date. And the thing is that we had Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been turned into a black guy. I have no problem with that. Green Lantern. They've had two different types of Green Lantern. One, I believe, was gay, and one was... Didn't they make a black Green Lantern, I think? I may be mistaken on that. But they've changed the sexuality of one Green Lantern in one alternate universe of the Marvel world for that character. And I have no problem with that, because comics need to have publicity, comics need to have attention, and the only way that comic publishers can do this now is by making drastic changes to characters, like making Spider-Man black, or making Green Lantern gay. I remember when Green Lantern was announced gay. It was a huge thing. And yes, it's in a different world, Marvel Universe, different comic series, but still, that's how they have to stay relevant in the news. That's how comics work. Comics are constantly changing to adjust for the time that they're made, for example, right now, and to appeal to different people. And therefore, them changing Thor into a woman is a not surprising act for me. Now, Whoopi Goldberg made this statement. Thor, the god of thunder, he messed up, and he's no longer worthy to hold that damn hammer of his. For the first time in history, that hammer is being held by a woman. That's right, Thor is a woman. First things first, Whoopi Goldberg, you're a fucking idiot. I say this because your statement makes no logical sense, because you know nothing about comics, because actually, Wonder Woman, the DC character Wonder Woman, actually held Thor's hammer in a 1996 issue where they had a DC and Marvel crossover. Among many other female characters have actually held Thor's Mjolnir's hammer. So please don't spew ignorant statements like, this is the first time a woman has ever held Thor's hammer. No, educate yourself on comics a little bit before you make a stupid statement. When Marvel Comics first started to produce these iconic heroes and comics back in the early 1940s, 50s, and 60s, and even 70s, when all these started characters coming to life, they had original stories. But as time goes on, years later, continuing these characters' plots and stories are very hard to do, to make it original, to make it something new that has not been done before. So therefore, the comic industry is adjusting to what they know best. They changed the gender completely of Thor in order to adjust for this. Am I mad by it? No. Am I upset by it? No. Am I angry? No. Am I screaming at comic publishers saying, how can you do this? No. And, if you're a fan of Thor, here's the thing. They're probably going to change Thor back to a man pretty soon, because how many times has Batman died, Superman died, Captain America died, and what do? After the character dies, they bring the character back. That's just how comics work, and if you knew anything about comics, you wouldn't be so upset about this news, and it doesn't upset me at all. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's I do think it's dumb that they made Thor into a woman rather than keeping the character Thor and making a Thora or another female version of Thor somehow get brought into the comics. I think that would be a lot more reasonable than changing the character completely, but whatever. I understand the comic industry, and hopefully you do too. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. What do you think? Is this a good thing on Marvel's part? Changing Thor into a woman?